Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities we may have today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Right, we're starting off here on the daily. We have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. So what's the daily showing us so far? Okay, well we can clearly see we had a bearish end to last week, right, giving us a pullback from that premium we was in. Okay, so now we're pulled back to more of a discount, right? Depends where you measure the leg from. We are back into this imbalance here. It's not fully mitigated at the moment, so there is still more room to go bearish and also to go into this imbalance below with an order block. Okay, now we have this imbalance with order block a lot further down in the extreme of the discount, right? So price could pull back to there at some point, but for the moment I'm going to concentrate on this price action here with this imbalance and immediate order block around this area. So I'm going to follow this leg at this moment here, right? We clearly have bearish pressure and we have some POIs which may still attract price lower on the daily. On DXY, of course, we had our bullish end to the week and we still have imbalances above to fill as well towards that premium and that order block there. Now so far today, in terms of previous daily high, previous daily low and weekly low, we have swept the sell side liquidity of that previous weekly low already. Okay, so previous weekly and daily low and previous daily high and weekly high on DXY has been swept for buy side and sell side liquidity. As you can see, we're having some sort of bullish push from that. So some momentum coming from that liquidity taken overnight. So let's go down to the lower time frames and we'll see what that looks like. So here on the 4-hour chart, what do I see? Well, we can see since we rejected this 4-hour order block here, we have made some internal bearish order flow, right? Because we've got this high, lower low, lower high, lower low type structure going on this time frame. Now at the moment we have pulled back and filled this 4-hour fair value gap here. So I've put this line here, okay, for the 4-hour that we have filled this fair value gap. I suppose there's an order block also there behind, but I'm just going to concentrate on this imbalance that's been filled. So we may find some sort of support here, right? So Friday candle ended here. Overnight we found obviously some sort of support into today. Right, and then we swept our previous weekly and daily low here. So we swept some sell side liquidity at a higher time frame imbalance around this area. We are into a more of a discount possibly of this 4-hour leg here, though we do still have imbalances below which may draw pricing. So possible support area here, and if we go over to DXY, possible resistance area, because we have also filled a 4-hour imbalance in this area here, right? And price, the candles have all closed within that zone, so we are yet to break through that area there. Candles are respecting it with their bodies, so possible support and resistance is what I'm seeing here, right? As well as the fact we've taken sell side and buy side liquidity so far today. Also, one thing to note, if we look in on DXY, we've come above these highs here. This is all buy side liquidity, right, that we took previous week. So that may be enough to sponsor some sort of pullback for the time being, maybe bullish, or to continue the trend, right? And then we have our more premium POIs to look for possible shorts from. At this moment, I see no POIs around this area, right, on the 4-hour anyway, to short from. They're up here and up here, so we can see these order blocks with imbalances around these areas, which I'll be looking forward to in the future to possibly look for shorts. Same on DXY here and here. Okay, so like I said, just to reiterate quickly, possible support here with this imbalance sell side liquidity, possible resistance here with this imbalance fill and buy side liquidity. So my first initial thoughts are here on the 4-hour is pullback opportunities, right? At the moment I would say we're in like a bearish order flow, bearish structure, pulling back within the larger external bullish leg. Okay, so we could possibly have some bullish pullbacks, maybe aiming for more premium of these internal legs here, maybe towards these 4-hour order blocks. So let's go down to the 1-hour and see if that agrees with us. So here on the 1-hour, I'm going to start off zoomed out for the moment just so we can see the past price action. So here is our 4-hour imbalance line, across here, and at that same area we have the 1 hour order block and imbalance there too. So on both time frames we have possible support POIs from the high time frame. You can see here now, closely looking at the 1 hour, we had an internal sell side liquidity sweep, break of structure. So this is a good order block here to possibly hold price as support, which so far it has done, right? Price has rejected this area, candle bodies are also respecting this area, and we've had some sort of bullish momentum from here into today. We have the premium POIs above in the leg, right? So here we see this 1 hour up here as well, order blocks that we've left behind with imbalances. So this is the exact same area where there is also a 4 hour order block that I said may be good to look for sales from in the future. As I said on the 4 hour as well, we have that bearish order flow. So we have this lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? You can see we're sweeping internal buy side liquidity up here, breaking down, sweeping buy side liquidity, breaking down, okay? Pull up, sweeping this internal liquidity here even, and breaking down. Now within this, what you could look like a 1 hour leg here at the moment, I don't see any clear POIs like we do above. They've all been mitigated. So I'll zoom in slightly here now. All the previous POIs here to me are mitigated. You know, we had this order block with imbalance here, spiked into it, continued going down. So for me, there's nothing fresh like this one up here as a clear resistance, right? We may find some resistance here, but on the 1 hour, the POIs here look all mitigated. So I don't see much in the way of resistance for our possible pullback to go long, right? Which I said it looks possible on the 4 hour. Okay, so 1 hour POI, 4 hour POI, sweep of sell side liquidity, right? We had some structure here and then we broke that structure. So you can see we've broken above these internal highs here with some bullish momentum. Okay, so we've left behind an imbalance here with a 1 hour order block here as well. Okay, so that's possible to look to go long in the future using this area here to pull back long, maybe up into a premium of this leg towards this 1 hour order block as well. So I do think that looks good, and like I said, I don't see any clear resistances like I do here in terms of an order block and imbalance. DXY, if I haven't mentioned, has the same POIs of course, 1 hour order block just here with imbalance that price spiked into, respected. Okay, we since then swept that buy side liquidity and we look to be breaking down, breaking below these internal lows here. So we have this internal bullish 1 hour leg probably from here to here where we swept that internal sell side liquidity and broke above. Okay, so we could at least pull into the discount down here. Now unlike EU, DXY does have some POIs that may provide support, which may be what we're seeing here. We have this imbalance with order block which we've already spiked into, and you can see the last hour has been kind of bullish there. So this may be some support, which would be a negative of course for our bias, right, to continue shorting the DXY and possibly going long for a pullback here on EU. So this may provide some support as a negative, which it's doing so far. So that's what I'm seeing so far. Right, we've got our support POIs and sell side liquidity and break of structure. We've got our resistance POIs, buy side liquidities and break of internal structure. And then we've got our negative of this imbalance and order block here, which DXY has so far mitigated. Okay, I do see it as against the current trend as well, obviously, because you can see we're making these lower highs, lower lows and higher highs, higher lows on DXY. So it has its risks to it, but I still think the confluences are there to support that move. So in saying that, let's go down to the M15 and see what opportunities for today may look like. So in terms of the opportunities here this morning, looking on the M15, I see one clear opportunity for the long from this discount area that I was discussing for the possible pullbacks. So let's explain this. So of course we mitigated this higher time frame area here. That was during the start of the Asia kill zone session here. We created some sort of consolidation / range here, right, as we do during Asia. It swept its internal lows here and then eventually broke its structure around here, breaking above these highs, right, with some momentum. Okay, so we've got our break of structure, internal sell side liquidity sweep coming from a higher time frame POI area. If we look over to DXY, of course, we took that buy side liquidity sweep, high time frame POI, and then if we look into DXY closer, right? We've got that low, lower high, lower low, pullback, lower high, lower low. So at the same point where we swept internal sell side liquidity here on EU, we failed to make that higher high sweeping the buy side liquidity here on DXY. So what does that look like? Of course, it's SMC divergence, which indicates weakness, which it did, right? It played out with a lower low, right, from this lower high, whereas we swept sell side liquidity, making a lower low to then go on and break and make a higher high. So where this order block is here that you can see, we have SMC divergence around that area, right, where DXY refused to make the higher high as well. So these are some possible confluences on side. I like the sell side liquidity sweep, right, before breaking the structure. That would indicate to me that we have a possible strong order block zone here, okay, and that DXY is weak. Going with the strategy that I use, of course, we have the order block, we have an imbalance, we have a break of structure, we may get a corrective pullback. So we've pulled back, pulled up. This is obviously quite corrective so far. We may get something like this to pull back down to our M15 order block with imbalance to go higher into this premium here. So we may get that inducement around this area here where we can set our order at the order block, right? Stop loss either, I would probably put it just below this low here, or you could put it just below the order block. Depending on your strategy, you may even put it below here, okay? So that's up to you and your strategy, and you'd be aiming for wherever your strategy defines to aim for. So something like this I think would look good. Of course, at the moment what we're seeing is our order block is down here on the M15 on EU, but on DXY you can see we've pulled back a bit further. We're mitigating some sort of M15 order block here, and we do have some bearish momentum coming into DXY. So whether this opportunity is going to come, I'm not sure, but this is the clearest opportunity that I can see this morning that I will wait for. Now I believe it's a bank holiday in the US markets as well, so I won't be trading this afternoon, so I need this move to happen in London if I'm going to take it. So all of those positive confluences I mentioned earlier, with this here, right, and with this here, and all this sell side and buy side liquidity, SMC divergence, internal sweep, breaker structure, and then we've got our M15 order block, right, and we're just waiting to see what the pullback looks like to possibly go long, okay, and possibly short this. So given that we may have some differences here, we may sweep this high again and respect this order block here. So we'll see what happens there. Or the long from this area may not come, it may happen somewhere further up in price, but I don't really want to be chasing price or longs either today. And then once we're up in this area, I may look for some shorts. So that's everything from me. I hope that was clear. I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.